Level 1. The pigeon. We start with something you see every day. The common pigeon. You probably think they're just sky rats, looking for breadcrumbs, but under that boring grey exterior is a piece of biological tech that puts your iPhone to shame. Pigeons possess something called magnetoreception. They have iron-rich neurons in their beaks that allow them to literally see the Earth's magnetic field. While you're struggling to get a signal on Google Maps, the pigeon is navigating thousands of miles across continents using a built-in quantum compass. They aren't just flying, they are processing a layer of reality that humans can't even perceive. It's the ultimate baseline for bizarre, a bird that has mastered global positioning before we even invented the wheel. Level 2, the grey potu. As we move to level 2, we leave the city and head into the deep forests of South America to find the grey potu. This bird is a masterclass in the uncanny valley. By day, the potu doesn't fly. It doesn't even move. It perches on a broken branch and transforms its entire body to match the texture and color of the bark. It's 90% mouth and eyes, but you'd never know it. Its most glitched feature? Magic eyelids. The potu has tiny slits in its lids that allow it to monitor the entire forest for predators while its eyes are completely shut. It is a living, breathing statue, a ghost that watches you while it sleeps. If you walked past one, you'd never know it was there, but it would be watching you. Level 3, the frigate bird. Evolution stops trying to hide and starts trying to show off at this level. Meet the magnificent frigate bird. These are the pirates of the sky. They have a massive wingspan, but their feathers aren't waterproof. If they land on the ocean, they drown. So, how do they survive? They stay in the air for weeks at a time, even sleeping while flying. But their most bizarre trait shows up during mating season. The males possess a giant, inflatable red throat sac called a gular pouch. When they want to attract a mate, they inflate this sac until it looks like a giant, translucent, heart-shaped balloon. It takes 20 minutes to blow up, and once it's full, they vibrate their wings to make it drum. It is one of the loudest, brightest, and most impractical displays in nature. A high-risk, high-reward evolutionary gamble. Level 4, the sword-billed hummingbird. In the world of biology, there are certain ratios that just work. Usually, a beak is a small fraction of a bird's body. The swordbill decided that rule didn't apply. It is the only bird on Earth with a beak longer than its own body. Think about the physics of that for a second. It has to fly with a massive front-heavy spear attached to its face. Why, you might ask? Because it entered an evolutionary arms race with a specific type of passion flower. The flower hid its nectar so deep that no other bird could reach it. So the swordbill just kept growing its face until it could. It's a specialist taken to the absolute extreme. It can't even preen its own feathers with its beak. It has to use its feet. It sacrificed everything just to have exclusive access to one single food source. Level 5, the Hoatzin. Now we're getting into the forbidden levels. Level 5 is the Hoatzin, also known as the stink bird. This bird is a biological mess. Firstly, it smells like fresh cow manure. It's the only bird that digests food through bacterial fermentation in its gut, exactly like a cow. But that's not even the weirdest part. When Hoatzin chicks are born, they have 2 functional hooked claws on each wing. If a predator attacks, the chick jumps out of the nest into the water, swims like a fish, and then uses its wing claws to climb back up the tree like a velociraptor. These claws are a throwback trait from 65 million years ago. It's a bird that refused to finish evolving, keeping the weapons of its dinosaur ancestors just in case. Level 6, the King of Saxony bird of paradise. If you saw this bird in a forest, you would think you were hallucinating. From the top of its head grow 2 massive scalloped wires that are twice as long as its entire body. These aren't feathers in the traditional sense. They look like plastic streamers or digital artifacts. During its courtship dance, the male bounces on a branch, making these wires arch and swirl in a rhythmic, mechanical pattern that looks like a puppet being controlled by an invisible string. There is no survival benefit to these wires. They don't help it fly or hunt, but exist purely because the females of the species decided that the weirdest male was the best male. It is evolution pushed into the realm of pure surrealism. Level 7, the Shoebill Stork. And then finally, we have this bird, which is very common in the swamps of East Africa. If you see this 5-foot-tall grey figure standing perfectly still in the reeds, don't move. The shoebill is the closest thing we have to a living dinosaur. It has a heavy, clog-shaped beak that ends in a sharp, hooked nail. This beak isn't for eating seeds. It's a guillotine designed to decapitate lungfish, eels, and even baby crocodiles. But it's the way it moves, or doesn't move, that makes it level 7. It can stay frozen for hours, staring with pale, unblinking eyes. It's a master of stasis, and when it finally decides to communicate, it doesn't chirp or tweet. It performs a bill clatter that sounds exactly like a heavy machine gun firing in the distance. It is a bird that looks like a statue, hunts like a monster, and sounds like a war zone. It is the absolute peak of bizarre evolution, a prehistoric titan that somehow survived into the modern world. If you think these levels are wild, you aren't ready for what happens when these birds actually go to war. But that is a story for next time, or rather next video, so be on the lookout for that.